Hello everybody and welcome. For this week's prophetic trumpet, we are going to update something that we touched upon way back on June 9th of this year. You can find that message right here on this platform. And we spoke about the prophecy in Revelation chapter 6. We're going to get to that in a minute, the specific verses, but this pertains to the end time scenario and the coming of the wrath of the Lamb and the wrath of God upon the earth, and where people are going to really find their safe haven underground. And we exposed some things back on June 9th that a lot of people weren't aware of, and we're going to update that this week. Now, for the kind of teacher that I am, I think we should go back to the basis of this, since this is dealing with prophecy and not just some sort of spewing of facts. Because honestly, everything that I'm bringing up here that coincides with the fulfillment of these prophecies is being highlighted and cited in the information below. Now, in Revelation chapter 6 is where we're getting the basis for this week. When we return to the underground, that's what the name of the message is. Now, Revelation chapter 6, verses 15 and 16 specifically says, "Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else." Okay, so you have different breakdowns here as to who it pertains to, and we begin with the politicians that are in a lineage, the kings and the princes of the earth. Then we have generals. That's a military term. The rich and the mighty. Okay, so the affluent, the acclaimed, and everyone else. And then it says both slave and free. Well, that's very interesting. That's a very interesting way to put it. Could that be... Yeah, I better leave that one alone. Okay, so the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. They called to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits upon the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb." Now, when we go to our first update this week and we take that passage there, those two verses into account, we're going to go to the New York Post in an article from May 5th, which was, wow, just a month before when I preached about the underground initially this year, where there was a Bush administration official, a housing official, that gave a very, very scathing and revealing interview in what she knew about what is going on in the federal government going back to the Bush administration. Her name was Catherine Austin Fitts, and you can probably find clips of what she had to say, or even the full interview, on this platform if you search for it. And the article says that she served as the Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for housing between 1989 and 1990. So this is Bush Sr., and made the shocking allegations during an appearance on the Tucker Carlson podcast. I'm sure you've heard of that. The federal government has secretly spent trillions, that's with a T, building an elaborate network of subterranean cities where the rich and the powerful can shelter during a near-extinction event. Now, why would the government think that's necessitary? A former Bush White House official sensationally, claimed that 170 only applied... that she claimed the 170 only applied to bases on the United States soil and around its coastline, alleging that more exists across the world, and that the bases are connected by an elaborate transportation system known only to the military. She added, while claiming that they are powered by a secret energy system known only to the military, and says, quote, "I'm convinced that this energy exists. If you look at a lot of the really fast ships flying around the planet, they're not using classical electricity," end quote. It's an apparent reference to the spate of bizarre unidentified aerial phenomenon supposedly flying around the skies in recent years. Now, even as an update to this update, and I do not have this cited, there has been someone that has claimed that these underground rail systems can really travel at much more than the speed of Mach 1. So I want you to think about that, if that truly exists, and what kind of energy source, if this is legitimate, that would have to be to empower that kind of thing, plus the kind of speed and the duration of time it would take to get from destination to destination, and to be able to stop a means of transportation moving at that, an unimaginable speed. So then we move to a source that we used a couple of times last week, the Harbinger's Daily. And this is something that really strangely popped up. It's not something that this publication would normally, or this website would normally divulge, but according to them, in coordination with Revelation chapter 6, verses 15 and 16, Mark Zuckerberg, who is quite the affluent mixed martial artist from what I've heard, very affluent in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and one of the most influential people in technology, is said to have started work on the Koolau, K-O-O-L-A-U, ranch, sprawling a 1,400-acre compound on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, going back to 2014. So just over 10 years there. It is said to include a shelter complete with its own energy source and food supplies, though the carpenters and electricians working on the site were banned from talking about it with a non-disclosure agreement. According to the report by Wired magazine, a 6-foot wall blocked the project from the view of the nearby road. And asked last year if he was creating a doomsday bunker, the Facebook founder gave a flat no as an answer. And the underground space, spanning 5,000 square feet, is, he explained, just a little shelter. It's like a basement. Very interesting. Now, well, that hasn't stopped the speculation, likewise about his decision to buy 11 properties in the Crescent Park neighborhood of Palo Alto in California, apparently adding a mere 7,000 square feet underground space beneath. Then there is speculation around other technology leaders, some of whom appear to have been busy buying up chunks of land with underground spaces ripe for conversion into multi-million-dollar luxury bunkers, or multi-million-pound luxury bunkers. Billionaire Peter Thiel, most of you are not aware of him, but he's the founder of PayPal and a surveillance company and works in coordination with the Trump administration called Palantir. That's Palantir, P-A-L-A-N-T-I-R, has been talking incessantly in recent days about the Antichrist and Armageddon. He even gave closed session lectures in San Francisco pertaining to the rising of the Antichrist. Well, that's kind of strange, isn't it? Thiel has also bought chunks of land in New Zealand, where he is attempting to build a massive bunker. Many tech billionaires are going to faraway places such as New Zealand and Alaska, places that have been seen as fairly safe and stable to build these underground bunkers where they think they can hide out in case of a cataclysmic apocalyptic event. Again, why would they be preparing for this? Now, Fortune magazine has a headline that says, numerous billionaires are preparing for the end of society, guns, gold, and bunkers galore. This is a headline in Fortune magazine. The article says this, that figures like OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and former OpenAI chief scientist, boy, I'm probably going to mess up her name, Alaya Sutskever, who now helms the rival AI firm Safe Super Intelligence, among others, have voiced their concern. And still under-realized AGI, or an AI system that's generally more intelligent than humans, will send human society into irreparable chaos. Now, wonder where she would get that notion. I mean, it's almost like she works in that industry. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? She says, we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Sutskever reportedly once told an OpenAI team, according to the journalist Karen Hao, H-A-O, book of The Empire of AI. Now, many of the folks are putting their money where their mouths are, and Altman, for instance, is known for having a stockpile of guns, gold, sprawling properties, and other resources he can turn into in the event of an AI-afflicted Armageddon. Again, an improper use of the term Armageddon there. That really means revealing, but nonetheless, makes you wonder what is going on beneath your feet. Well, here's the last one. Now, this one is something that was picked up on the X platform, and it's not a site that is commonly referred, but it's about tunnels connecting deep underground military bases. So we go back to the Catherine Alston Fitz instance here, and it says that a mile under the Earth's surface these exist, and a bunker under Getty Museum in LA is the main hub of the international child trafficking ring. Well, there's a can of worms that you probably didn't expect to hear in today's episode. The Skirball Center, the world's largest Jewish cultural center, is connected to the Getty Center via an underground tunnel. And Phil Schneider was the structural engineer that designed the tube train system that connected these deep underground military bases, or DUMs as they're called. And he provided detailed information about the tunnels and the tunnel boring machines that are used to make the tunnels. Well, ironically, he was killed January 11th in 1996. Now, Stephen D. Kelly, a former CIA, NSA contractor, gave details about the deep underground military bases, and he states that the bases go all over the world. Allies of the United States have also built these underground bases, and they are run by the NSA. Countries with these bases give up their sovereignty to the NSA. When you build a tunnel under the borders of states and countries, you supersede the laws and regulations on the surface of the earth. The bunker under the Getty Center in LA is the crown jewel, he said, of the deep underground military base systems, and it is the hub of global child sex trafficking, and it functions as a modern-day Noah's Ark when planned catastrophic events happen upon the Earth's surface. Now, this would make you want to believe that with all these people that we have listed today that have deep government ties, that have this innate fear of something cataclysmic, apocalyptic happening upon the Earth, and yet these organizations repeatedly deny the sovereignty and even the existence of Jesus Christ. They consistently move against Christianity and the things of the Bible, and they push the efforts of other faith sets simply because they're not really much of a threat. But it is obvious that they are fully aware of the prophecies listed in the Bible, of the coming revelation of Jesus Christ and the full revealing of his sovereignty upon the earth to come. And further, that the wrath of God and the wrath of the Lamb are going to be poured out upon this earth. I don't write the book. I only teach you about it. The rest of the world just falls in line and makes it come to be, because there is only one God, and there is only one sovereign king to come, and his name is Jesus Christ. The government knows it. The governments of the world know it. The rest of us just have to accept it. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Prophetic Trumpet. Please join us next week. And hey, like and share the message. Share this with your friends. You can text this to people. You can send the message out. You can go to our website and get more information about our prophecy. All the information is right there below us in the links. We hope that you have a miraculous and strong day, and may the Lord be with you.